What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Liswa Mutupi here. We're back again onto my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we're going to be doing something amazing. Obviously, you do know that on Sundays and Mondays, I like to actually speak a bit more about, the analysis that I like to actually take a look at for the week. So normally we'll be looking at dollar index, you know that I love USD MXN, but on today's live session, I actually want us to take a look at AUDCHF. I want us to take a look at EURUSD and also USDCHF. These are three pairs that I was interested in. Obviously, I've got more pairs that I was looking at with my members. So these are actually the pairs that I don't mind sharing with you guys. And while recording this, I'm actually a bit more distracted because I can see I'm recording this while the market is moving, and some of it seems like I'm gonna miss some of the entries, but obviously there'll always be an entry within the markets. So I actually want you guys to do one thing for me before we get into it. Just make sure to hit the like button if you do find these videos very helpful towards your trading, because the previous week I actually uploaded a very super amazing video and the trades turned out to be super amazing because USDMXN played out the way that we anticipated. And also hit the subscribe button just so you can keep on watching and getting these videos. So by this one, Mutupi. So what I'm going to be doing is that obviously I'm going to be taking a look at the dollar index, and there's not really much of a difference, because I remember the previous week the dollar index was like close to somewhere here, and then we just waited for a small pattern to create just so we can continue going to the upside. Yes, we did not get that pattern, but eventually we continue to just keep on railing to the downside, on which I like this a lot. So one thing that you can see here is, okay, let me just go back onto the 4-hour chart. Okay, right here. Okay, let me actually go to the daily chart to show you guys what I actually have on the daily, if you guys maybe forgot. You can simply see that on the daily I've got like this first touch, second touch. Obviously I'm anticipating a third touch anywhere close to here, which is why you can see I've got my small support area line here. It's not actually, I wouldn't say it's a support line, it's a line that's supporting me. I wouldn't say it so, but it's actually a line that's indicating me that I would like to take full profits here, because once price gets somewhere around here, it's going to start moving in a much more tricky situation, because obviously we are now on daily supports, so it doesn't really mean that it's going to continue to drop and break the support areas. So that's why I would like to take my profits there. So I wanted to show you guys this on the bigger scale, and then hopefully we can have price just go a bit more to the upside, give us also a third touch somewhere close to here at the upside. But we'll see that after it has reached our target, because once it does reach here, we'll see a pattern that it prints, and then we'll be able to make a move out of that pattern. So on the 1 hour time frame, one thing that I want us to do is that I want us to take this one last sell to the downside. As you can see, obviously my first touch, which is here, second touch, now I'd say this is close to being a third touch, and I've got this being first, second. So maybe hopefully price can just shoot once more to the upside, give us a third touch. This would be a perfect scenario, and then go all the way to the downside. But even if it does not happen, already this is super clean, because take a look at actually what's happening. It might even be a double top formation, because take a look at this first peak and now this second peak, because price came, shot up, and then went back to the downside, and then now it went all the way to the upside. And also you can simply see this candle that printed here. We've got an inverse hammer on which it's giving us a lot of confirmations to the upside. So I want us to actually try to take advantage of that, which is why I've decided to put my sell limit below these candles, to confirm that when price does activate me, it means that it has literally broken out of structure. And yeah, that's actually what it looks like. And obviously risk reward is 1:5, which we're keeping it simple. Stop loss 19 pips, which is amazing. So let us go into our top 6 pairs. So I'll show you guys what is it that I'm looking at. Okay, so as you can see now, since the market opened, it's now 11. So I'll just wait for the spread to cool off a bit. It's now 11:45. So I'll wait for the spread to cool off a bit, but you can simply see AUDCHF now. So AUDCHF looking super amazing. Obviously an upward move. I've decided to take targets here. The reason I'm taking target all the way up here is because of, let me just come all the way to the back side here. You can simply see that where I've put my target area is basically just a resistance zone, meaning that when price gets here, there's a higher chance of it going back to the downside if it doesn't break. So I don't want to be caught up in that situation whereby I don't know if I should stick to buying or maybe if I should start selling. So I'll just take profits there, and then I will observe of what the market is telling me. So just by taking a look at the current market price, obviously this is an impulse leg. This is a very beautiful impulse leg. I don't want you guys to be confusing what an impulse should look like. This is actually an impulse, like a clear upward direction. And obviously you can simply see that this is a continuation pattern, and then eventually it broke out, came retest, broke out also, and then now we're seeing that there's actually a smaller pattern after the breakout. Very beautiful trade to be involved in. I'm just seeking to place at least my entry just above here, and then my stop loss would be super limited, at least like what, 21 pips stop loss, which is super safe, and then targets would be all the way to the upside, which is 187 pips, and we're looking at a risk reward ratio of 1:86, looking good. So this one is that one setup that I wouldn't mind placing an entry on as soon as the spread cools off and everything. So it's looking beautiful. And always what you can do is that you can simply see that here we've got this wick that went up, and then now like it basically created a wick to the upside. So what I normally do is that I just push my price to the upside, just so I can be able to have my buy stop be a bit more to the upside, and then my stop loss is now a bit more fixed also. So I like this. It's a bit more adjusted. It's a bit more adjusted. So I like having such setups. And obviously, if you want to make it a bit more clear, you can add something like this now. But it's not really necessary. That's if you want to have it. But this is AUDCHF. Let us take a look at USDCHF. This one is looking beautiful. I think it's also ready. You can simply see with the candles that's being presented here. So I'll just see what the spread is telling me, and then I'll know for sure if I should either execute the trade or just wait for something else. But I've got a trading plan that I follow. I don't just trade because I feel like a trade is gonna leave me. So you can simply see here we've got an impulse leg correction and the next impulse to the downside. Even though it's not really too clean, there's some setups that don't really present themselves so clean. All you have to do basically is just filter out what you don't want to see, what you don't actually use to make a setup out of it, and then focus on what you actually want to see, what actually makes you be able to see what it is that you want to see. So USDCHF, it's the same thing, impulse correction, impulse after this impulse leg. You can simply see that it broke out, yes, but it didn't break out too perfectly, and then also it shot down here and then it shot back to the upside. But just take a look at this first touch, second touch, and also a third touch here. So I highly believe that we can get a first touch, second touch, and a third touch here, on which is the 90% rule for this, on which I would love to receive something like that, because it's actually much more powerful. It's actually a powerful strategy to be able to be looking at things this way. So with that being said, obviously at the third touch we wait for candlestick confirmation. You can see this engulfing candlestick, and also afterwards we wait for at least the correction. You can see that a correction has presented itself here, on which I believe this is actually a high probability setup. So let's go on the 15-minute. I saw this on the 15-minute. This impulse on the 15-minute, just take a look at it. It's just an impulse, a correction, and the next impulse to the downside. So I want us to actually focus a bit more on that, and there's actually a beautiful setup. Even now the candles that opened recently, you can simply see this huge rejection, and you can simply see this huge also rejection, which means that there's a higher chance of us going to the downside. So I'm looking forward to just placing my orders on this trade as soon as the spread has cooled off. I'll be excited to do so. Let us check the next setup. Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD, I think it's ready. You can simply see I'll just have to just go back into my MetaTrader 4 platform just to see if this is not a gap, because normally if it does print a gap, find out that on TradingView it's not really presenting a gap. So this one is super simple. Or as you can see here, I've got these areas as my targets, because these are previous highs. As you can see, I've got this as my targets, and obviously we're now moving in an upward formation. The price has been shooting all the way to the upwards, so why would you want to be selling when the market is pushing upwards? So what I have done is that I've presented I've actually came up with the multi-touch confirmation, because I spotted this first touch, second touch, and now price being at the third touch. But obviously it's not too perfect, it's not too clean, it's not too picture perfect. But I just realized that what's happening here could just be some sort of a support area, because take a look at what price the candles are doing as soon as they got here. This candle just presented an undecided candle, gave us a lot of rejections. We've got here like 3, 4, 5 rejections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rejections to the bottom side, which means that like the market doesn't really want to continue going to the downside. It only wants to push to the upside, on which, as you can see with this trade, what I have here is actually a trend line that recently broke. So I'll just see how this candle closes, but I'm looking forward to just securing a 30 pip stop loss, targeting 193 pips, on which it's a 6 percentages. 6 percentages on just this small move. 193 pips will give us 6 percentages, which is amazing. I want us to actually work with things such as this, like when small pips are actually giving you so much rewards in percentages. I'd like to thank you so much for actually watching up until this very end, and I hope that you actually did what I asked you to do, which is to like and also subscribe. If you didn't, you can always do that. Now there'll just be a button down there where you'll be able to access it. And at the same time, guys, just make sure to comment below, tell me what it is that you're looking at, tell me the pairs that you're looking at, and then hopefully someone out there might be looking at the same pairs as you, and then you guys can get to share ideas. But thank you so much for watching.